Finals edition of the pod this week. Cannot wait. We look at the 4 big games. Going to be some crackers, Wal.
There's going to be some crackers Thursday night. No bigger. Adelaide v the Collingwood Magpies. And Train, you had a game on Thursday night too.
Yes, just got up and down the wing. Probably about 7.5, 8 disposals. I wouldn't count a few of it anyway. It was a big day. 1 million raised for prostate cancer. Cyril Rioli broke bread with him and the corn. He kicked a 71-metre bomb on me. I couldn't believe that. But Daisy, it's all about the graveyard and the Propeller. Week 1 of finals. 4 crackers. Can we get it done?
We can get it done. Redemption is the word of the round. Oh, I cannot wait. And then the Osbourne. Yes, please.
Have a beer. It all kicks off this weekend. Tune into the pod right here. Welcome back, everybody. It's the first round of the finals. It's the Aces AFL Show. Daisy, fresh off Byron Wal, hopefully off a break. You always look good and sharp. We were just having a laugh. We want you all to do this at home. Maybe when you're at the pub, go on your Instagram and just suss out your mate's Explore page and see what kind of dirty dog he really is.
Just the difference between yours and my lives at the minute, Tommy. I've got some grass growing, some golf, a little bit of footy, a fair bit of baby chat, and that's about it.
What about you, Wal? What's yours look like?
I'm a bit the same.
All I'm seeing is bikinis. Anyway, we keep moving, but suss out your mate's Explore page is a little bit of a fun task. All right, Daisy, how was Byron? Raised? Did you get to that amazing restaurant up there?
I did. I had a great time. I appreciate you boys squeezing everything in so I could get going, and then, of course, we get to the airport, we get halfway there, and we get turned around. Not ideal, suboptimal start, but awesome couple of days away. Sun was out. Just nice to get a bit of sun.
Just on that, was it?
The baby?
The baby was an absolute dream, mate.
On the plane? No
slept
noises?
the whole way there.
Oh,
when we got
huge.
turned around, I was like, because she was out cold, and she slept until we landed back in Melbourne the first time. I was like, half-hour delay back on. This is going to be an absolute shit show. Yeah. Oh, she's just going to kick off. No, straight back on. Out
That's
she went.
massive.
So, no, it was good, mate. It was really good. Much needed and bloody loved it.
Nice
so I
weather
appreciate
too.
it. Gorgeous weather. Great part of the world.
No, you need that before finals. You got a big campaign
Big
coming
campaign.
up.
I'm built for September. I love I genuinely
Well, we know,
love
mate.
this
We're
shit.
just
Like this, for
Mate,
those of you watching on
performance-
YouTube,
Yeah,
you should see the performance cut.
Ready to go.
That is a
Look good,
finals
play
cut.
good, feel good.
That's not a radio haircut. That is definitely television
that's
front and centre.
Well,
sort of
what
setup.
What have you been up to?
Well, I tell you what, I'm rolling
full-time parenthood at the
Look
minute.
at this though, New South Wales Golf Club. You rolled in with a brown corduroy Prada hat. Like
Is that a Prada job? It looks nice.
things are going all right, aren't they? Things are going all right.
You know you're going well when
I'm
you
not
got
really
the
a hat
Pradas
man,
on.
but you know, if you throw a part of my way, I might
You're a
flick her
good-looking
on.
man, mate. You can pull anything else. What did you get up to? Well, I haven't actually asked.
Yeah, no, it's been what 10 days since the birth of Maverick, a big boy, 4.7 kilos. So kudos to the wife. But no, it's been a really great time for our family, spending time with the other 2 kids as well. And work's busy, but I've been able to delegate and push things around. And yeah, I'm just excited for footy. We missed it on the weekend, having no footy over the weekend.
Some on Wednesday, but why didn't you play in the Legends match?
Yeah, where were you?
I tuned on for the second
Could not
half.
get near a goal for you boys. It's you know Stevie J very well. There's a couple of chances where I was on, and Milne missed me. He actually tried. Fev, Dill Buckley burnt me. I got 3rd-degree burns off Bucks. He had about 5 shots in the second. I go, mate, just give me one opportunity, and then I just stopped running inside 50 because I was like, I'm no chance here.
How was it though?
Yeah, give us a synopsis of the team meeting, how it all, introducing yourself.
Well, obviously
and then
just there to make up the numbers. So I was quite nervous, but the boys are Gary Ablett walking around, hot. They're just the nicest guys, great lads. Timmy Watson giving a nice address, plenty of banter. Campbell Brown, good mate. So around some great fellas, Swanee. It's good when you've drank piss with half the boys before, so I felt very comfortable.
Was that the night before? Or was it the day off?
Dimmer put it on. Lamaro's there. I said, I'm not going to get first night fever, and I can give you a tip. There's a couple of boys that had first night fever. He was all right, and I was pretty happy with it. I saw a couple of boys hungover. I thought, that's good signs, if they're struggling, because I was real nervous. I haven't changed direction in almost 4 years, or put the boots on or anything. So I was actually just nervous that I would make a fool of myself. And then you see some of the guys out there that haven't played for 7-8 years. So I thought, that'll be good, and sat on the bench. But mate, had a great time. Once I got my first touch, I was like, that's it, job done. As long as I don't get 0, I'll be happy. And then just enjoyed it. It was pretty funny. Even Hughesy.
How was that funny?
how is that?
I caught up on a lot of it.
Night. I was saying it was just like it was Hughesy and Goz before we get to that stuff. They were like the crowd favourites. So it was almost like like, just get Hughesy the ball and the crowd goes wild and he kept fucking it up. And then Goz, same thing, like he'd passed it and they're all booing him because he put about 15,000 on seats and bums on seats there. And then, Hughesy's, he did complain a bit about his ribs. And
so who got him?
Yeah,
I think he wasn't happy with Embley. He said it at halftime. He goes, boys, I'm fucking serious. Embley cleaned me up. And I looked at the vision. I think he just gave him a little bit of a butt cheek to the he's 54, Hughesy.
Oh, no.
And you've never been hit before.
Yeah, and I think he's a vegan,
not
so he
really
needs a bit of.
well
He doesn't eat that. He doesn't have much. I don't think he eats enough
The
meat.
old, like Kuya grass ain't really sort of
Anyway, so he's actually, we thought, because he's so funny, I thought he was taking the piss. I think everyone did. And then Goz rinsed him, and I think he was a bit sore there. And I remember when I was, because I was on the wing, he took ages to take his double 50. And someone was like, come on, mate, like, hurry up. And then he kicked the goal, like, flushed it. And then Mitchie Robinson, I thought, bit stiff, whacked him. But when he got him there, I was actually trying to pull him up. And he goes, no, leave me. He's going, leave me. And we're like, there's about three of us. You know, you just pull your mate up. He's like, no.
And he's not the biggest lad.
No. He's like, leave me. And then he like come off and like, you just didn't know if he was mucking around. And then he hung around in the post-match function. And as he said on his Instagram, he's like, I've rushed myself to hospital. And what do you have? 5 broken ribs and
punctured lung.
So, hope he's doing well. Haven't heard the latest, but
a successful night in terms of there was a lot of viewers. I'm not sure of the exact number.
2.1 mil. And
you and Corn
they
holding
raised
hands.
Giving a bit of a cuddle.
And then the Corn, he ran into him. I was trying to do a funny video with the boys about Sheasel's boots. You know, like Mike, we had this skit idea. And as I went to do it, like Corn's come up and I was like, oh, you're kidding. So I said g'day to him and actually was meant to.
Broke bread?
No, he's meant to. I'm not happy with the Corn because we're going to have a bit of a laugh in the last quarter. He said he was going to run out. Benny Cousins pulled out. I think he was training too hard, Benny. Hurt his knee.
Yeah.
So at 3/4 time, the Corn ran up and said, I'll meet you on the wing on the 3rd minute of the fourth quarter.
Down.
Well, we're going to go head to head. And obviously a bit of, WWE style. And I was on Chadley, his brother, and I told Chadley, I go, man, it's about to be on. The Corn brothers are going to, you can belt the life out of me, but just run off and let me, let me retaliate for a minute. So I had all these WWE things in my head and the Corn never come on. Like I could see him. He was ready to pounce and he never met me on the wing.
Why you didn't touch it in the last quarter? Because your running pattern was elite. You just were looking at the bench the whole time. And
Chadley was very diligent on the wing. He's a big. There was one outlet mark where I got. I'm like, everyone was playing Bruce free early, and he come across. I didn't expect him to come across.
From the brother. That was a request.
So it was good fun. It was an amazing night.
What about the after party?
After party was good.
Fun?
Yeah, just drinking beers. Luke Shuey, Nick Nat was there as well.
Luke Shuey, one of the all-time great
all-time
knackers.
fellas. Everyone. Boomer Harvey, Chrissy Johnson, Stevie. Chip Frawley was in good form. Swanee, mate. It was so many legends around. It was it was an amazing night, and very grateful to be invited. And again, I don't think anyone knows, but my old man had prostate cancer this year, and it was very scary because I didn't know what was going on. He's all good. It's very common, and 1 in 5, I think it is. So for prostate cancer being what we raised the money for, I was like pretty keen. I don't think a lot of people knew that as well. So I was like, yeah, definitely keen. The old man was in the stand. So it was cool to be a part of.
Yeah, and without delving too far into prostate cancer, I think we're all susceptible and get it at an important time in our life. But it's about, obviously trying to find it earlier if you have advanced sort of stages. And there's so many different pathways and doctors you can see to ensure that you can do the right things to get yourself right.
Couldn't recommend going and get a checkup. Like my old man and that era, they just don't. They don't really do that.
In the date.
That's,
I've had to go and get it once before, and it's not pleasant, but you got to do it.
Yeah, you do. And getting on top of it early makes a massive difference. And his surgery was a huge success. It's all been removed. They'll get 6-month checkups. Yep. And when I told a couple of blokes, like a couple of my other mates, they're going through it with their dads. It's so common. So not many people knew that. I thought I'd put that out there. Go have a check. But
a good message too.
Yeah.
Sure.
But run into Cyril as well, just to go back. How's this for timing? You know how we run out? So we had to go out through the tunnel together. The first, we had to be paired up with someone. Now, I went to the back because I was like, let the superstars go and the spuds like me at the back. And I've been paired up with Cyril as we're going out. I thought this is scripted. You'd think it's scripted. So I had to run out with Cyril and said g'day. I haven't seen him literally since the moment he ruined my career.
Well played to you, though, because there was a moment, and I caught up a lot of it on the Instagram and just from the highlights on socials. He banged a torp from 70, which was a highlight. But you could have mowed him. You were you were close enough to get him. And I was sitting there going, geez, you're a better man than me. If this bloke had lit me up and put me, that was all anyone's talking about, I would have spear tackled him and let him know about it. So well done for buying into the product of the night.
Truthfully, I don't know if I could have mowed him. I might have touched his back, but I had front row seats to a 71-metre top, and I just thought, there's no way Noni will kick that through. And when it went through, I went, there's another highlight. I couldn't believe it. That'll be the promo for whenever they do it next time. So Cyril on fire, but he's in great nick. He could still play.
I think he's playing a fair bit
but in terms of AFL, when the ball's on he's just within that first, 10 metres around the ball, he's just so quick and
he could disappear. You go to tackle him and you'd think you'd have a play on him. You turn around and go,
just slip you.
So agile. But yeah, mate, it was so much fun. And geez, Goz has got a fair presence up there. It was pretty funny seeing the crowd just rise at the end there when he was carrying on.
How are the old blokes, like the ex-players who think they're the stars of the show and are when people are tuning in to watch, but a lot of the younger crowd who were there on the night would have been there for you. You influencers, if you heard the call, BT was struggling to get his head around the prime train and yourself and Goz. How was that received? Because the crowd, the turnout was unbelievable.
I think it was an eye-opener for a few. Not eye-opener for me. That's the modern day, I knew Goz's influence and all that. But by the end of when he kicked the one that put him in front at the end and he's going around and been, pointing at all his fans, because it was at his perfect. All those fans are down that end. It was perfect. But I think it was Sully and a couple of other boys going, geez, he's got a fair audience here. I reckon they would have gone, geez, football's, it's changing a little bit. It's changing. Yeah. But yeah, great night and they done well. So super stuff. No Propeller last week, so we can start. We can start with that's a big win, wasn't it?
Scratching at the barrier and money back.
So very good. And we'll talk about the graveyard and how the teams that are on the Propeller this week and how that worked later. But we must start before we set the scene here. We're going to talk a couple of AFL news and contracts, and then get into the 4 blockbusters finals week. This is probably my favourite week because you get 4 games, 2 eliminations, and 2 that can get to a home prelim. We have the big Clubhouse event this Saturday. Yes. You boys have knocked a lot of things back. I appreciate you. Everyone else does. We've got Campbell Brown, Billy Brownless, and you guys coming to have beers. Weather forecast, 20 degrees. Ooh, the best.
Rooftop?
Yeah, rooftop. The best weather of the weekend. And the best part about it is it's free tickets. I think there's about 50 left. The rooftop does have, there's capacity up there. So get in if you haven't already. And no doubt you can still slide a few more up there. But we can't wait.
Timings again?
Well, it's a 10 a.m. NFL. If you want to come watch the NFL, do that. If you don't like NFL, no worries. Get there at 1 p.m. and drink a beer with all of us. And then we're going to have our live show at 2 p.m. And that'll conclude at 3. We've got some massive giveaways. And then the AFL game at 3:15. And we'll make sure there's some really exciting things that we won't announce here. We'll announce it at the pub. That's going to happen between that 3 and 3:15. Maybe, an early goal, first goal, all the money goes to the bars, things like that. Right. Yep. That's the go, and it's going to be a cracker game.
Are we putting on alcohol and beverages?
There's going to be a few. I think Billy's barrel will be rolling around.
A little bit of trouble at Gather Round, just declaring a few more free pods.
And our great friends at PointsBet have looked after that one, and they've even we've requested 2 barrels, and they said we'll see how much piss they drink between 1 and 2. So if you're coming early, make sure you're thirsty. Yep. But there's going to be a lot of things, and the giveaways, mind you, we've got some big giveaways. We're just chasing stuff as we go, but we'll announce them on the day, maybe the night of. So get online. The tickets are in the link tree on Osmerican Aces or in the show notes here of our podcast. So make sure you hit that. Send it to a mate. It's going to be a lot of fun. We haven't seen your faces. We've been talking to you.
Mate, I haven't had a beer in that long. I'm excited just to be out of the house and go suck a couple of bloody stubs with the lads.
Been in the diary for a while. I've been the all clear to go.
20 degrees, 2 on a rooftop.
The weather. I looked at the weather.
Me off that chair to get me out of there.
Once I saw the weather, I thought, we're on here.
Here we go.
All right, let's get to some news stories. Charlie Curnow willing to take a pay cut to join a rival club. Thoughts, Daisy? You were the one that did break this last time.
I told you this last week, lads, that he was keener than ever. Then had been reported that had sort of the narrative had shifted, and then he did go into that exit meeting and pretty much declare that he was happy to go for bugger all. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure what the Blues do. Do you allow him to walk? Do you put a massive ransom on his head? It's just such bad signs for Carlton.
There's so many layers to it, and I I'm not sure if people forget, but he is a star. Like, he's one of the best forwards in the competition. And when he's up and going, he could be the best. Collingwood medalist. So in terms of how he can change the future of a club, if he does go to a team like a Gold Coast or a Hawthorn who are fighting for, their spot in the finals, elimination finals, it could change the club. So the weight of a move and the importance to maybe another club is a huge opportunity. So, look, it's not lost on me, the hole that he'll leave if he does remove himself from Carlton. So
he's a bit of a spiritual leader there too, though. So it's not just if he goes, his actual on-field ability to hit the scoreboard. Like a really likeable bloke around the club, sets good examples. If he's having a beer or, if he's telling players to go somewhere, most of the younger boys will go and follow in that sort of regard too. So, another one. Silvani, obviously, Jack's gone. TDK, he's out as well. Sam Doherty retired. Elijah Holland's been reported as being told to explore all options in a pretty poignant way from Michael Voss. I'm slightly concerned from the Blues because, one, who's going to be left? But there's not a whole lot of talk of, all right, well, if he goes, we're getting this. Like, this is the wish list, like St Kilda have done, we're getting to go. It's not a whole lot coming through.
And the only thing that you probably haven't really spoken about, Charlie, is he's got resilience. You talk about character and being a spiritual leader. Early on in his career when he had those knee troubles and those question marks where he was coming back, I think he missed a full season. So he's got the capacity to come back and bounce back. And if you give him a new clean slate and a new club, he's got the kind of character that could allow him to get back to his best. And conversely, if he stayed at Carlton and he knuckled in, he recommitted, I still think we're going to see the best of Charlie Curnow, whether that's in a Blues uniform or a rival club. I still think there's so much for a future of him. And again, if it's his decision, I reckon he goes.
Do you blokes, if that is the way he's leaning, do you just start going, well, we've got Harry down there who's still a bloody good player. We need players. We've got players leaving and we need some defenders. We need some fast, a bit of speed through the midfield, and we need some distributors forward of centre. Do we start shopping around, all right, well, what can we actually get? Because it would be a fair amount.
Yeah,
Did you do that?
Yeah, you have to. You have to go, right, hypothetically, if he was to leave, say he goes to the Suns, what are you giving us back? Because Suns are going to run into these issues. The Giants have always done that. As you start playing finals, all these young guns, they're on so much money, you can't pay them all, and they have picks as well, right? And then obviously Carlton might be able to trade those picks for players. 100%. That if a player doesn't want to be there, the last thing you want is a player still, you know what I mean, in a locker room that's like dragging his feet. Not that Charlie would do that, but it's just not a good look. And if you can get something back while their currency's really hot, it could have been hotter, but it's still hot. How many Commons has he won? Yeah. So you're going, well, if he wants to go and we can get all these other things back, well, like blokes like Vossi were going, well, I'm under the pump a bit. I might as well just have a crack. Yeah. I can't see. Look, the first thing they're going to want to do is keep him, clearly, but I reckon they'll be able to get a lot back for him.
The interesting thing is you said, or mentioned, it was mentioned that he's willing to take a pay cut. Now, it's different to TDK where the money was just so exorbitant, it doesn't matter what the club was.
It's a bit of I'm going and I'm happy to take less, get me out of here.
Yeah, but it's not great, is it?
No, but does that mean that I'm going to a club that's in a finals bound?
Geelong and Suns, Sydney, Geelong, Suns, they are the perfect spots for him. Yep. Coastal, he's got a family, he loves the beach, and I reckon there's not much media pressure in those towns. Maybe just Geelong is
figure out who's going to go to Carlton though. Yeah. Once a destination club and you're guaranteed to play in front of 60, 70,000 10 times a year. At the minute, it's like 440 on a Sunday at Marvel Stadium. Probably not.
Yeah.
Which is the issue.
They're going to want and this is a hypothetical, but like an Errol Goulden, they're going to want something like that, Carlton. And we've seen it before with Chris Judd and Kennedy. If you want to give me something, you got to give me something back. Yep. I don't know what it looks like because they're all contracted.
I think it was Tim Watson put out the three-way trade, get Sydney involved, get Warner to Freo.
Yep.
Jackson back to Carlton because they've lost a ruckman, and then Charlie to Sydney.
Okay.
So I think if it is to be done, and
Freo wouldn't allow that though.
No, but these are the hypotheticals. Yeah. I reckon it is going to be something like that. I don't think it'll just be a straight right. You're getting Errol Goulden, we're giving you Ethan Reid and Jed Walter. Yeah. I reckon there's going to be if it is to be done, there'll be more than two parties
Jed
involved.
Walter's a good he's a really good, strong comment. He'd be involved in that somehow.
You probably know Carlton's list better than us two here. So if you thought of forwards, mid, backs, you take Charlie out of the forward line, what star are you looking for? Which line?
I'm going a distributor.
Yeah.
Somebody who can kick the ball and who's fast.
Yep.
They lack speed and they lack somebody to kick
Errol
the ball.
Goulden type. They need one of them.
Mate, Zach Butters. I don't know, just...
Yeah,
then
there's not many of them. I mean, there's not many of either of them, but that's exactly right.
Because I'm just thinking, though, again, if it's a trade, Zach Butters for Charlie Curnow, is Charlie going to a fresh start for football? Because Port Adelaide aren't
He ain't going to Port.
They're not going to. He's not going to Port.
He's not going to Port. He's going somewhere where he's either going to win a premiership
there
or
you
be
go.
competitive, or a place that's
So
actually
you narrow the field a bit.
and Sydney's
The
probably
perfect spot is Sydney or the Suns.
Yep.
I don't think
or Geelong with
or
his family
Geelong,
ties.
Yeah. Outside of Melbourne, I meant. Yeah. Anyway, we can be here all day. I tell you what,
It's exciting to talk about.
It
though,
is.
because
And
it's
this
one
is
of the
where it's all
biggest
started.
things,
Like, we're even talking about Zach Merritt and where he's going to get to, and if he's going. Every year this comes up.
well, that was my next one. This is a bit of a concern. Ridley wants out, and he's got a contract. Sam Draper wants out. And now Zach Merritt is weighing up his future and actually considering it. Like, there's media reports, but it's genuine, like he's weighing it up. And as the skipper of the club, he's their best player. It's two of the biggest clubs in the league.
Andy at Carlton.
Well, he's probably the other player that you could
There
get.
you go. Yeah, but it's funny with Zach because there's always a speculation around. Oh, he wants a trade. He's willing. But if you're not wanting a trade and you're not willing to go, you come and front it and hit it straight away and say it's bull.
Yeah, I think he's
Like,
liking
How
it.
many
he's
times
not.
do you have to come out and say it? I think is the issue now. It's like
There's a
every
lot of
year.
blokes like, how many podcasts and TV stations
Mate, he's got an Instagram, so I don't know what you're all talking about. I'm staying at the bottom.
And look, you don't want to ever say why haven't you done it, but it nearly feels like if you're
look down the barrel and say, Zach, why haven't you done it?
as a skipper, though, would you expect that? He's the captain of the club.
I'd expect some internal dialogue if there's question marks.
But
in
it's
the
the same.
whether
Like, if you address it, you validate it. If you don't, we speculate and say, well, why aren't you? Like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
So you just leave it. If you're his manager, you're saying just leave it.
Yeah, well, at some point, he's going to have to address it.
Yeah,
And
after trade period.
When he's somewhere else.
but they don't have their BNF either, so there's opportunities there because he's going to take out his fifth or sixth.
It'll be six, which will put him one ahead of Jimmy Hurd. He was equal with him on 5 at the minute, and taking, I think it's the leaders on 7. Dick Reynolds and Bill Hutchison, I think, are the 2 at the top of the tree. So he's one away from that. He'll
So if
definitely
he
win.
stays, he's going to well and truly win that then.
Yeah, well, he could get to equal
7 or 8,
first or
8, 9.
outright.
Yeah, there you go.
Stay on Essendon for a second. I just read that they're preparing to offer Zach Bailey a mega deal.
All Australian, Zach Bailey.
Yes.
Well, the pennies go up.
Zach Bailey is being
Well,
hunted.
they need to get one of these.
I don't know if he is out of contract or not. I just read that just literally then that Essendon is preparing a mega offer for Zach Bailey. And they're going hard for him.
I like it. Good player, consistent, can play midfield.
X factor.
A bit of a point of difference. Put him alongside Kako and Caddy. It starts to these little things, but these are the big decisions. With Tassie coming in, you got to start prying players out and getting them right because they went and got Dill Shield for a heap of cash, and Dill's a bloody good player, but probably hasn't been at his best at the Bombers. Jade Gresham as well in that forward line, not exactly what I thought he could have been as a player as well. So they've sort of had a few little misses. They need to go and get it right because they have with Caddy. And Kako's got a whole lot of upside, but Caddy especially, there's a chance to really lock some key pillars down.
Big question mark, though. You talk about key pillars. Obviously, the man who's, how old is Goldie? I don't know how old he is.
52.
But if you've got Sammy Draper wanting out,
He gets another one, surely.
and then Goldstein who's pushing, half century mark.
It's unbelievable.
There's a lot. There's a big void there.
He's done a great job, man. I'm a 31-year-old male, and I'm meant to be pretty durable and fit, and I couldn't run a corner on Thursday night. And he's how old's he and how tall is he?
I've got the player Bible.
Daisy's just getting the player Bible while you get it. While you do that, we're just going to mention one more while you're over there. But Sauce, his old man's the recruiter at Saints. That'd be a unique scenario. He got a medical with the Saints yesterday. Can you see Sauce going to his dad's club?
Oh, well, he's a valuable commodity at the minute. And
He is.
I think there was a number of 4 years at $800,000 thrown around.
850, I think I read.
was it? So that's really good money.
5 years, I think it was.
5 years. So he's in demand.
And they've gone hard, the Saints.
have.
Credit to them. They've gone bang, 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 bang. So it's not a bad time to jump on.
Talk about the war chest.
Yeah. Well,
Massive chest,
I'm
isn't it?
concerned about all the other guys coming through. There can't be much cash left. I mean, if you're another gun, you're not getting a big deal.
Yeah, Cal Wilkie, and then if he plays alongside him, you've got Nass secured now. You've got a ruckman building a forward line. I don't know. There's some good things brewing.
King should come back next year, be healthy.
Do you want him at the Dogs?
Who Sauce?
Jack.
I reckon he would. he'd add depth. Whether we chase a premier defender, I'm not saying that I doubt his abilities. We need a key Stephen May type. Right. Probably not Stephen May now, but Stephen May 5 years ago, which is going to control that.
Stephen May for 2 years, if you're trying to prize him out of 33, I think it is. He's got option or 32.
I think that.
Would you prize him out for 2 years?
Yeah, I would.
I'd have a
They're
shot.
in a premiership window, so it makes sense.
Try with Liam Jones, and he was really good in his first season. Didn't get that much opportunity.
Didn't get a go this year, did he?
No, he didn't. They went with the youth with Jimmy O'Donnell
and Bustlinger, who got quite exposed in that last game.
Got injured, didn't he?
I still think we need attitude. We need brute. And I touched on this on the pod last week about a Brayden Maynard sort of, nasty person around the, an enforcer, but a key. And that's what we're missing, a bit of nastiness in that back line. And if you do get Stephen May.
Not a whole lot of it in the game anymore, by the way. And there's still room for it. You got to be
if you watched our man Vossi, he's nasty. When I watched them against the Dogs, he was nasty. Lads, we could talk all day about the rumours going around, but they're probably the biggest stories at the moment. We'll keep our eye on them. Let's talk a little bit of housekeeping, and then we get to the biggest 4 games of the year. Here we go. So, again, the AFL tipping competition. Lukey Butcher, you're winning this, and you're winning it by 1. I want to remind everyone, this goes to the grand final. It's not over yet. We've had so many people DM saying, what do I win? Well, you haven't won yet. We've got 4 more weeks.
So and we're going
Lukey. Well, it's not just that. There's a few others saying you get anything for second and third, and there's no second and third. It's winner takes all. So, we've got Biggie, Biggerson, and Passion Fruit Hot on their tails. So
Passion Fruit Hot's a new one. I've heard Biggie a few times, but I'll P. Hottie.
The big bush, though. The butcher's been lead for the
Hottie too. Hottie. So stay tuned for that. And now Supercoach winner, Rick's in retirement, I think his name was. Can you get in contact with us, great man? We can't find you, but DM us on Instagram.
You've got till Friday.
No, you've got till grand final day, but just
come along on Saturday.
Come along Saturday if you're in Melbourne and say g'day. All right, let's get to the blockbuster to start. It's Thursday night football, 7:40 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Adelaide Crows take on the Collingwood Pies, the Magpies.
Here we go.
And I don't know about you boys. I saw Nick Dacos looked a bit ginger. So did DeGoey with his ankle. Was that just a bit of a play for, maybe the taggers to take it easy? Boys, take this one away for me.
Yeah, and look, this is it's going to be an absolute classic. The last probably 10 encounters between these two sides have been decided by minimal points. Adelaide 5 on the trot, Collingwood 2 wins and 3 losses. So recent form would suggest that Adelaide are obviously trending better in that. But there's some amazing stats here, and we've got obviously 23 rounds of data. But I'm going to just give you 2 factors here, either less than 2 or less than 1. Disposals, less than 1 difference.
Over the season?
Over the season. Inside 50s, less than 1 difference.
Wow.
Clearances, less than 2 difference. Marks, less than 1 difference. Now, there's 4 more to go. Just bear with me. Disposal efficiency, less than 1. Possessions, less than 1. Free kicks, less than 2. And then tackles, less than 1. So that's how similar they play. And the glaring obvious stat that's different is Adelaide have scored 300 more points. If we go back to the efficiency, if we go back to their last encounter together, Collingwood had 34 more inside 50s and still lost the game. So in terms of how this game's going to play out, it's always going to be a territory battle. If Adelaide can control the footy, keep it in their half for longer, have as many inside 50s as Collingwood, their scoring prowess and the big key forwards that's kicked them so many goals this year, they should get it done. But it's going to be an absolutely classic encounter. Like I said, the last few games have been so tight, come down to the wire, but it's going to be a territory battle. And I see Adelaide, just with that scoring efficiency, taking out rather comfortably, but knowing Collingwood, they'll put up a good fight.
I crunched a few numbers whilst I was away, just a nice chance. I really enjoy doing sort of prep stuff when you're not forced to, when you can actually just sort of unload your brain and, just crunch a bit at your own time. So the last 2 encounters, the Magpies obviously won the first one, Crows win the last. That was the first time the Crows had beaten them in 10.
There you go.
So that is
10%.
One of 11, but
fair. One out of the last 10.
No, that's all right. They 1 win and 10 losses before that. Collingwood have taken more marks inside forward 50 in both of the games. And you think of Collingwood's forward line versus Dilthorpe, Walker, and your boy the Fog Dog. I thought that was a little bit of an interesting one. Adelaide have won the hit-outs in both the games, plus 14 and plus 24. However, they lost clearances in round 23 when they were plus 24 in hit-outs by 14. So there's
Smashed.
It's an interesting and sort of, to your point, a weird game into. There's no real trend that stands out for any obvious reason. So for that point, I give Collingwood a chance. But my greatest epiphany whilst I've been away is the Pies are actually going like bustards. Like they are.
You've been on them though. Yeah, you've been giving them second,
blind
third,
faith.
fourth,
I've been sitting there going, boys, she'll turn it around. Don't worry, it's going to happen.
They're going to my ass.
the epiphany is they are going like dead set bustards. They have been shit house. And unless they have found something in the week between their last game against Melbourne and this week, I'm worried. And I don't think they have found anything. I think Adelaide are going to win this one. Look, and hopefully this reverse confidence works for Collingwood, but if you're just taking it on face value, Adelaide have been a very good side, the best side, and finish on top. But that last 5-6 weeks has been outstanding, and the Pies have been no good. I'm worried.
I'll ask you, Tommy, name a couple of players in this one that you're really looking forward to and you think it's going to have the most influence on the game, either team.
Well, Jordan Dawson, if he has 25-2 and dominates the clearances, Adelaide win. And it's the tall forwards for Adelaide that
Jeremy
the bit to what the bit
couldn't have come at a worse.
Yeah. How even that's what we were having a laugh last time. But when Daisy said, "I'm going to put the wizard on my arse cheek," by the way, the wizard took a hanger in that Legends game, and I was thinking of you when he did it. When the wizard, when Howe went out, I just thought, that is the worst result for that back line because of the system. It's a system defence. So I've got my eyes on the big three, and it's Texas 300th. You think this crowd ain't going to be rocking? I'm telling you now, this home crowd advantage, it's another man. Big shout out to the Texan. He's got his own bottle of wine out there.
Yes.
He is a fine bottle of wine, isn't he? He just gets better with age. But I just think it's all about the Texan, Thilthorpe and the Fog. We know Rankin's not there, but I reckon those big three, one of them is going to just take over the game. And good luck stopping. And, Darcy Moore, he's a great defender, but teams have gone after him. Paddy Voss stands out. Since that game, Jake Melsham role, it's a defensive role, but then it's a one-on-one or work-off. So I'm really interested to see that the most.
Statmate's got a couple of beauties here
read
too,
them
Tommy.
out, Daisy. Read them out.
Steel side bottom, we know how good he's been. He's had 20 or more disposals in 9 of his last 10 games at Adelaide Oval, averaging 22. He's $1.69 currently on the points bet app. Rory Laird has had 25 or more disposals in 4 of his last 5 matches v Collingwood. $2.05. Wouldn't be a bad one for the old Profi Propel. And James Peatling has kicked 1+ goals in 4 of his last 5 games for the Crows. That's $2.20.
That's a really nice one there, Peatling. Works, he normally tags, so he'll be working off them. And
was one of those goals that he kicked at Adelaide Oval too.
There you go. So Statmate's your best mate when it comes to building a multi or arming yourself with everything you need to know about the game of footy. The best part about it, it's all free. So get it on the App Store now and download it right now. Before we go, Wal, I just want to give a mention to Pendles. Most finals ever, and he's currently 31 for Pendles. Mitch Duncan's sitting second with Danger on 28. And then you go to Mark Blickav's 26. Luke, well, how do you say it? Blitzarves. It's a hard one to read out. It's a bit like Mahanchek. Lukey Parker, 26. Still side bottom, 26. But you read these names that we're so lucky. Lockie Neal's at 23. There's a few names there that have just been amazing for so long. But Pendles at 31. He'll get this one 32. If they lose, 33. And if they win again, he gets it's amazing what we get to see at such a high level. So just thought I'd mention Pendles there. What a superstar. What were you saying, Wal?
And before we get away from Adelaide, Jordan Dawson, vice captain of the All Oz. Just a quick comment. Obviously, Jeremy Cameron, skipper, okay with it, happy with it.
Loved it. Toby Green mentioned it on our podcast, TFG Tuesdays, a while ago. He said, I think Jezza deserves it. Longevity in the game. He's about to kick 100 potentially. And who wouldn't want to play alongside him? His leadership is a bit different, but just deserved it. So, look, you could give it to Noah Anderson or Dawson, but I thought Jezza, nice touch.
I've just found me a little interesting sheet that I was looking for about if you're worried about a numbers or a certain amount. So round 23 v the Crows, the last time they played, was the first time the Magpies under Craig McRae conceded less than 65 points and lost. So they were 28-0 before that. And when they concede 85 points or less, the Magpies, under Craig McRae, they're 59 wins, 6 losses and 2 draws. So if they keep a side to under 85, they win the game pretty much. 7 wins, 23 losses when conceding more than 85.
So 85 is the magic number, 85.5.
Against a side that kicks scores for fun.
Over
However,
hundreds,
they have done a very good job of stopping that before. 78 to 68 was the round 10 result when Collingwood won, and 50 to 59 was the last result when Adelaide won. Low scoring, so that probably bodes towards the Pies, but if that forward line gets off the leash, it could be the Crom comfortably.
Well, it's normally low-scoring finals, but let's look out for that one, mate.
Geez, that was well said the second time round.
Don't worry, we edited the first one out.
Good.
59.
All right, let's keep moving. We really dived into that one. Again, StatMate's your best mate when it comes to building a multi or arming yourself with everything you need to know about the footy. Make sure you check it out for some specials on this game. There's got a few here. Josh Dunkley, 25 plus, Bailey Smith, 30 plus, and Ollie Dempsey, 1 goal. He's kicked He's kicked a goal in all of his last 10 at the venue. He's $2 on PointsBet, so check that out. Okay, Geelong versus Brisbane. This is at the G. This is the only game we have in Victoria. It's 7:40 Friday night. This will be amazing. I don't know. This is probably the hardest game, I reckon, of the weekend. I've got no idea. Lions sitting at 225.
That's
the reigning premiers. The reigning premiers. And Lachie Neale, he'll come back into the side. Geelong, they are premiership favourites at $3.50 on PointsBet at the moment. And Bailey Smith sitting at $11 for that normie. We'll have a little bit of a laugh later on about our normies that we want to have an early prediction on. But boys, who do you have in this game?
Yeah, this is an interesting one because if you look at the last 5 they've played against each other, Brisbane are winning that count 4-1. So they've got a recent history of playing really well against Geelong. But Geelong have won, 7 on the trot, albeit a really easy draw. So how does that play into it? They haven't really been challenged. Sydney being their biggest challenge in that run home. So look, it's at the G, so it's not down to GMHBA. I think that lends into Brisbane's favour a little bit because they did. They won a grand final there last year. So I just can't wait to watch. In terms of having a bet on this game, I'm going to steer clear of it. But I think Geelong are going to win, but it's going to be a great game on a Friday night.
I think this is probably the one that I've got no idea about. I could probably have it played 5 times and see different results every time. They play sort of similar in terms they want to build the ball up, so it's whoever can take that game away from the opposition. We know Brisbane with that slice and dice. Geelong's defence, they want to get in line with the ball. They want you to release it long. They get third man across and then they spread off that. Brisbane have done a really good job the last few times of getting out the back of that defence. So when you think of your Kai Lomans, your Zach Baileys, you got Cam Rayner in there as well, even Logan Morris last time at Geelong, he kicked 5. Or
Charlie Cameron, he's been heating up.
Yeah. So there's a chance if they get through to expose them out the back. It's just hard to see a Geelong coach side losing 4 games in a row to the one side if you take the prelim last year into it. But in saying that, I've got no real reason to tip against Brisbane. And for those, that dangerous forward line, the midfield's strong. Good game of footy. I'm leaning towards Brisbane with bugger all confidence.
I've got 2 factors I want to talk about. So I think you highlighted Bailey Smith on Josh Dunkley, the previous outing, and Josh got the job done. And Bailey was 29 touches or something, but not as influential.
I took him unders. I just said there's no way, but he's still just got, 29.
But Josh Dunkley, fresh off the Most Courageous Award for the AFLPA, so hats off to Josh. Look, an outstanding player.
Oh, yeah,
stands
you
up.
got one on.
Sorry.
Take the Prada off.
I'll put it back on.
My little Prada number.
Rubik's Cubes.
But so that'll be a really interesting matchup because Bailey obviously is still in scintillating form, fresh off an All-Australian blazer for the first time as well. And if we do take back to that GMHBA game, Brisbane v Geelong, I played in the Propeller.
That was the Propeller loss, wasn't it?
And that was where Harris Andrews played, I reckon, what was his best career game to date. So does he have as much influence as that game? Questions will be asked because, he really manhandled that forward line and it was a real rubber stop come that sort of centre-half forward for Geelong. So there's a matchup and a player I'm really interested to watch because I reckon they'll have a fair weighting in how the game rolls out.
Who's tagging? So they both got taggers.
Yep.
Who are you sending?
You got to go.
Mullen
well, it's funny because Lachie Neale off a quad. Do you go him or do you go McCluggage?
Yeah, I'll go McCluggage.
Now, I don't think it matters. You're going to go one of them. I think you're going to go one of it when they can tag both. Actually, they've got more than they've got Atkins and they've got what's his name?
O'Connor, who could come in,
and the other guy,
Shane Mullen.
Yes,
I should have let you go.
So if
there's 3 of them,
they could have a few role players there.
You can't get pulled around too much.
I know, but they might.
If Max Holmes went head to head with McCluggage, who wins that battle?
Oh, I think they both have 30.
It'd be a different style of game.
Wouldn't it? Yeah. But like if they're both on a wing or if they just match up.
I think they both had 30 plus. They both hit the scoreboard.
Yeah.
It'd be metres gained versus probably ball use inside forward 50.
Brisbane have to kick straight. I just thought against Hawthorn, they could have smoked them, but they didn't because they were just so bad in front of goal. And you can't have scoreboard pressure in a big final. So that's what I think. I honestly think it'll come down to that. I'm actually naturally leaning to Brisbane, fellas. I just think Logan Morris, he's built for the big stage. I think him and Jezza can kick a bag each. But I just think, look, Berry, I don't know if he's playing or not, but I don't know. Brisbane, for me, I reckon we've disrespected them too long. They are the premiers for a reason.
For reasons to doubt them, I feel, because they are the champs.
Yeah, I just think they've got a lot. They've got a lot of
we
depth.
haven't even mentioned Cam Rayner, and I think he's a big-time player. You talk about X Factor and, mentioned Isaac Rankin not playing in the Thursday night game.
Yeah.
I think he's sort of that echelon that can turn a game on its head, kick 3 goals in a quarter, and you go from a level pegging to shooting ahead. So he's a watch, but I'm still sticking with Geelong, by the way.
You wouldn't. I don't think I'll have a bet on the head-to-head. It'll be more the props. I think I'm really looking forward to the Jez. I think Jezza can kick another bag. I know he was a bit wayward when I had him for the Propeller, so I won't touch him this week. Yep. But he traditionally goes all right against this mob, I reckon.
Yeah, and the prelim final last year, if you want a game of footy, that was unreal. I remember calling that game. You sit there at the end of it going, it was disappointing that somebody had to lose because Geelong, it was at one point, 20-odd points. I think they got it out to. It was, here we go. And it was Rayner, that left foot goal from 50 as it started to piss down. It just shapes up again to be another one of those classics. Good luck to both sides if you support them. I think it's going to be a nervous watch.
Yeah, it certainly is. That's the hardest game for the weekend. This one's probably just as hard. Let's get to the GWS Giants taking on the Hawks. They'll be hosting them. It's the first elimination final of the weekend with everything on the line for both teams. Giants have only lost one game at NG Stadium all year. What a fortress it's been for them, boys. They go back to home and, this is fascinating. Hawthorn, they're always in games, even with the Brisbane game. I know they kicked wayward Brizzy, but that was only 10 points. So this is a cracker. And we're going to get the beauty of watching it at the pub with everyone at the Osbourne at 3:15 with 20 degrees and a few free frothies courtesy of Billy's Barrel. But I'm going Giants naturally. I think that the home ground advantage is a big thing. I don't care if a couple of players are 50-50. We don't know the teams as we record this podcast. Hogan's a big one, obviously, but I love the midfield and I love the back line. And Toby Green right now, the way he's playing, he can get all these pressure forwards and all these players to play a role. Blokes like Cal Brown, Riccardi, we know Cadman's a star. They can all kick goals. So I'm very confident in the system
You've
the
got
Giants
a little
play.
bit of your Collingwood bias that I have. You do.
I've got stats to back it up. I've got stats to back it up.
Off your nuffy.
With Day out, I'm very confident with the midfield. The Giants can get it done. And the midfield, it's won and lost, and I'm sticking with the Giants.
Oh, very good. It's so interesting. So the last 5 games.
Very good.
Very good. No,
I'll tell you why you're wrong.
You're staying
Very good.
Staying
Now,
true.
the Hawks.
Now just sit down for a moment, champion, and I'll get to the bottom of why you should just shut up.
I never talk about the Bulldogs on this podcast. So.
Because they're not playing finals.
Hey, congrats to Ed Richards, by the way. You were spot on. He played at half forward, so you were all over.
There you go. No, but the last 5 meetings between the two have been decided by an average winning margin of 7 points.
Beautiful.
So it cracks up to be an absolute classic. And you look through the weekend, the finals, first week of finals weekend, you've got 2 games to open it up where there is a second chance. But Saturday at 3:15, the stakes are raised because both teams are playing for their lives. What a better venue to watch it at than the Osbourne, the rooftop. So make sure you get there. But it's going to be a great match. I'm leaning towards GWS as well. But I love Hawthorn. I love watching them play. I love the way that Sammy Mitchell coaches that team. So, look, if they win, I'll probably be barracking for Hawthorn. No disrespect, because I'd love to see them make it to the second week of finals. But, GWS, again, with the history of their success at NG Stadium, I think they're going to win.
They need to get into a grand final and win one, the GWS Giants.
Yes,
because when you look at what's happened, the loss to Collingwood 2023 in a prelim,
Yeah, by what, a point or something?
By a point. And, Toby
that game.
kicks a banana. I thought that went through. And then to bow out in the fashion that they did last year, obviously in front.
Joe Danaher.
And also Sydney. They were in front of that first one as well. True. So this becomes a really important game for their football club, but also sort of the culture piece going forward. And I know that Toby will be getting the side up for it. I'm leaning in a weird way towards Hawthorn. I don't know. What they did against Brisbane was good without being super impressive, but then to run them within 10 points and a very good side that we've spoken about, the best side of the season. Again, not a whole lot of confidence, just leaning towards the Hawks in an upset at the minute.
If I just go back to you, play Devils, who kicks the goals? You got Sam Taylor, Buckley, Iden. Who's kicking the goals for Hawthorn?
Well, they've got a lot of players kicking goals.
Yeah, but who do you see kicking a bag?
Probably more of the smalls than any of your bigs. I think Sam Taylor's very good. Buckley, if he does play, he's probably going to be underdone. But I think that's a beauty of it. The game can shape up differently for the Hawks to be winning it. They get good ball movement. The Tors will have an impact on the lead. If it becomes a bit of a scrap and a territory battle, I think they've got enough dangerous players. McDonald, Ginnivan, Watson, you've got Moore down there as well, who can all get really busy and hit the scoreboard in different ways. Same up the other end with the Giants, but they do it probably a little bit more indirectly with lesser names. But just the Hawks in a close one. But we'll wait and see. We'll be at the Osbourne watching it.
It's going to be good weather. So it's not going to be a shit show or a shit fight on the ground with weather, rain or water about.
So Giants by 2, Hawk by 1.
Yep.
Okay. Good luck.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be a cracker.
You don't have to get that disappointed. They haven't lost.
No.
Look at him. The old bloody wrought iron Hengel.
No, I'm just sitting there as the host thinking my next question while absorbing information.
Some energy, you dickhead.
You can't play in the run sheet now, mate.
Well, I need to go back to Benny's. Let's put a nice
Benny,
point here.
you
If
gotta
Toby
write it
Green is going to get them into the finals and the grand final, he's currently $26 for most goals on PointsBet. So
Good.
check that one out.
So
if the Giants go deep,
series.
yes, the Giants go deep. You think he has to kick about
And he has to play. They're playing
18,
4
20.
too. Yeah, they're playing 4 finals.
and he's in red hot form. Righto. There's one more final, but before we get to it, do you boys remember who you tipped for the Coleman at the start of the year?
I think I did. I think I said Jezza.
You said Harry Mackay, who finished under the top 50 with just 22 goals.
That's not, he missed it a lot. Like, don't hang your shit on me.
Well, Nick Larkey, 15th, didn't even make the top 10.
top 15,
and
no,
Tommy
that's okay.
tipped Ben King, finished second.
How do
So
you go?
hats off to the train. Let's keep moving. Fremantle taking on the Gold Coast Suns.
Most self-indulgent. Where'd you put me in for it?
I swear to God, that was on the
Jeez, didn't you get up and about for that? You Giants,
there
you
you
bloody
go.
bottom
Jez
lip,
has
and then
rolled
all of a sudden he reads the rundown, the train's on fire.
All right, brief mention of our man David Swallow, a true clubman for the Suns, 247 games and 111 goals. I don't know what the teams are, but I hope he's sub.
He's playing.
No, he's
He is
playing.
playing?
David
He's in?
Hardwick.
Oh, Dimmer, what a man.
Play the man.
Is he actually in or not?
he's playing.
Oh, that's huge. Is he the sub or a full game?
Not sure.
Do you know
Could
how
be
big
used
that
as
is? That is so big because he's a WA boy. He's announced his retirement, and regardless of what happens, there'd be no, he deserved a final more than anyone. He's probably the most loyal bloke ever to play at the Suns.
Witsy actually said something. You sum him up. He stayed when others left. And I think that's a really, hits a nail on the head for the type of person he is. He stood the test of time. 247 games, but the inaugural, some of those battles early days when they were getting flogged by 100 points, the stars are getting pulled from pillar to post.
Too.
Handsome
rooster.
family.
Yeah.
Andrew went all right as well, his older brother. But look, star.
Would have you stayed?
Gold Coast is a beautiful spot.
Would you stayed, Daisy?
I didn't stay at Collingwood, mate. Wrong question.
Would you have stayed? Would
Would you have been asked to leave?
you have been forced out the door, Tommy?
I would have been getting delisted. All right, let's get our tips for this one.
This one's weather dependent. She's pissing down.
What's going on in Perth? Normally she's beautiful.
Well,
Well, if it's going to be wet, that's going to be interesting because the midfield battle, they're the two best mids in the competition at the moment. They are flying. What about them two going head-to-head against Essendon and just looking for the 3 votes? Geez, the Brownlow vote count's going to be interesting. Where are you leaning, boys? I clearly this is, I'm going to be leaning
Bias,
Fremantle, but it's more about Alex Pearce. I think he can put the big fella that I tipped for the Coleman to sleep. He did a great job on Sam Darcy. I think he can do a great job on Ben King. So Alex Pearce putting Ben King to sleep means Fremantle win for me.
And I reckon, look, Gold Coast have had an interesting season. They were always a game behind, so it felt like they had a buffer. It felt like, if it came down to it, they could win in the last game and get a finals berth, which they did. But Freo have won 4 of the last 5 games, and they did win away at People's First Stadium amongst those 4. So I'm leaning towards Freo. Ben King kicking 7 goals on the weekend, so he's in goal kicking form, the bloke who comes second in the Coleman. But if
Did
Alex
you tip
Pearce...
him for sec?
For first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you didn't...
Forgot that Jezza was an absolute superstar.
Yeah, no, he's a superstar. But I'm leaning towards Freo. I think what they did to the Bulldogs in the last round, away from home, It's going to be a hostile crowd. It's a hostile territory. I'm looking forward to watching Tuke Miller, I must admit. There's a lot been said about Anderson and Rowell and some of their output, but Tuke's been around there a long time. We touched on Dave Swallows' influence at that club. I reckon Tuke is second to him in terms of how important he is
Bloody
for the
good
Gold
bloke
Coast.
too.
Ripping blokes and Kevin's boy. So
Is this St. Kevin's boy?
yeah.
I'll take some points off then.
Another Calder Cannon St. Kevin's.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's a very rich footy
It's a
factory.
rare
down there.
combo.
But no, ripping fella. But I'm looking forward to watching him. But it's going to be a hostile territory. Gold Coast yet to play in a final. It's baptism by fire going over there. And I think Freo, just what they proved on the weekend with some of their young players and the NAB rising star. His name's
Murphy Reid.
Murphy Reid, sorry. Absolute star. I love watching him play.
Well, he needs to have him and Bolton need to have a big day.
And Bolton's the X factor, but Murphy Reid, just as a young player, being so composed over the arc, hitting the scoreboard, I think he'll have an absolutely outstanding game, and Freo will get it done.
Daisy, you've been on Suns all year.
Yeah, which is I've really tried to step away from that. That's the reason why I'm going to tip them, and I'm not going to. No, I've really tried to take a
This Byron trip's been good.
Yeah, I know.
He's clearly said, you watch Collingwood and the Suns will get up and he's tipped against them.
Just real zen out over here, man. Snoop Dogg up in Byron.
Snoop's still playing? As far as
I
I
haven't
know.
had a call from him saying otherwise, so I'll assume so. The Suns, you make a final, you may as well win it. I know that's easier said than done, but I think
Hostile crowd.
I think it's the best environment for them, though. You go across to Perth, like if it was at their home patch and they got a home final, more expectation. She's nearly a free hit. And I know that's an external point of view, but Damien Hardwick, he's been there. He can sell it. He's got them up for big games. They have to take learnings into what they've done wrong when they've been ambushed a little bit before. The weather, I don't know. They are a good contested footy side, but that probably plays into Freo's, slow, dour, low-scoring affair. I'm going to tip the Gold Coast Suns again. I can't wait to watch it because you could play it a few times. I don't have a whole heap of confidence, but I'm on the Gold Coast Suns train. And as I said, you get there, you may as well win one and see what you can do.
Do you want to go double or nothing on that slab that you haven't sent me yet? I reckon this is a good one.
All right.
I reckon I'll give you an extra 6. A little another 6-pack on top just for a little bit of insurance.
All right.
I just think this is the easiest bet of the weekend. $1.56. Yeah, $1.56. Home crowd. I thought the Suns were paddling. They just smacked the Bombers, but take that out. Their form's been a little bit how you going. I reckon it's if the
Freo lost to Brisbane by 57 points at Optus Stadium a fortnight ago.
I reckon Jackson and Darcy got going, and I reckon I know it's raining, but they've got a lot of pressure forwards. I think Freo, what they did to the Dogs was enormous. So they take this one out for me. All right. It's out.
Just before.
We're time. It's really time.
I don't think Tuke go to I don't think he went to St. Kevin's.
Tuke Miller, I didn't think he went to St. Kevin's either.
I didn't even know he went to bloody anywhere. He didn't go to Drawn Eye.
Just run with it. Well, no one's going to check it out. Hey, someone in the comments, get up to Wal about that call. It's all right, Wal. The way you sold it, you've sold us a lemon, mate. You've sold them all year, so don't stop now. All right, boys.
Sorry, Tuke.
It's time for the Prophet Propeller Graveyard Edition. This has been big.
This to me, please.
Okay, so as we said all year, the teams that missed out they go into the graveyard for finals, and we've randomly selected all the teams in the graveyard to go back on the Prophet Propeller for one last chance. There's 4 more weeks left, boys. It's going to be very hard to hit these multis. This is our best chance,
Tuke
obviously.
Miller.
Listen here, boys. So I'm trying to promote the Propeller. Who gives a what private school he went to? No one gives a all right. What school did he go to? St. Kevin's.
Well, it turns out all of a sudden you didn't tell me about the Propeller, you Ted.
Married on to St. Kevin's.
Trainers.
It's bloody hard work, this job.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what we've done is, what did I just say, Daisy?
Yeah, Tuke Miller.
Anyway, there's a few teams in the graveyard. They're on the Propeller. We should read them out. Well, can you move the hat so I could actually, I'll read them out quickly. Move the hat. We've got Bernards, Balmoral, the Sharks, Sunshine, I can't say that one there, it's upside down. Newborough, Avondale Heights, Narry Warren, Parkdale Vultures, Aquinas. We've got Knox, Chadston, Newcombe, the Jets, Riddle, and North Footscray, the team. By the way, boys, come and pick your boots up. They're right behind me. I've got to text you. We've got the boots there. You can do what you want with them.
Maybe send you them out. Was it cool?
Yeah, I'll drop them off at the Oz Post. Send me the address. So good luck. We're going to spin this, but before we do, let's get our selections in, boys.
Well, mine was actually one of Statmates without knowing it. Ollie Dempsey to kick a goal at any stage against the Brisbane Lions. He'll be playing that wing role. We know he can get aggressively forward. There's a chance that the younger Ashcroft brother will be going up against him, who isn't quite as prolific overhead. I reckon he can jump on ahead, get forward, kick a snaggy anytime, $2. Yes, please. There's Profit Propeller leg number one. Tick.
I really like that.
That's good thinking, isn't it?
Yeah, on the G as well.
Everybody should just get to Byron and just get a bit of zen, a bit of
maybe next year we get to Byron and do a show. Just to,
all that stuff.
Get a raise, just to feel it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cheap at raise, isn't it?
It's cheap, yeah.
Wal?
Cheap.
I'm heading to Thursday night, actually.
You're going to kick us off.
I'm going to kick us off. Big finals. Come to play. Come to play. I'm courage personified. Now, Adelaide against, I've lost it a bit here, but Adelaide are going to get it done. So the line for $2 is 11.5 points. As I mentioned, they're very, very similar in a lot of their outputs statistically, except for scoring. So from an efficiency point of view, no Jeremy Howe. They're going to score enough to win, and I think they're going to win quite comfortably. They're going to get it done by over 11.5 points. You get $2 for that. My leg taken care of Thursday night. I'm looking forward to Saturday afternoon.
So must win by 12 plus.
I like
plus.
that.
Yeah.
As I said, I'm nervous, but I really like that.
Thank you.
Well, so let's hopefully they go bananas early. I'm going to go with the GWS Giants. 1-39. That is a disgrace from you over there, Daisy. Believe.
I do.
Giants, I love that we saw that home ground advantage. They have only lost one game at NG all year, and I reckon they're ready to go. So 1-39.
Life on the line.
Life on the line. The GWS Giants. I'll be at the Osbourne.
I was going to say Osbourne on the line.
Wait for that. You be drinking piss. What time are you boys going to be there for?
I'm getting there Friday.
Yeah.
I'm opening.
And leaving Sunday.
That's it.
So I'm going GWS Giants on this Saturday at 3:15, which means we leave the last game up to whoever you boys spin the propeller and land it on. Now, here we go. This is big. Clubs have missed out. All these clubs have missed out all year. They get another chance in the graveyard. Can we do it in the week 1 of finals? Stand up, boys. This is what we've been waiting for. What are you thinking here, boys?
I just need to get the vibe.
Stacey's just feeling the vibe. Remember the mic. All right, here we go. Finals week 1. Well, give it a big spin. 2, 1. It's off. A little spin. A nice and, just nice touch. It's still spinning, though, the propeller. Yeah. So finals week 1, the team out of the graveyard that's going to get the first chance is going to be the North Footscray. Redemption, boys. How good is that?
You couldn't make this shit up.
You might be able to get that. We might be able to drop the cash off with the boots next week. This is big. We know exactly who to call. We probably should call them now, but we'll call them later because the pod.
So you're telling me they've got to? Are they going to do the Saturday night game? If they've got any sense of theatre,
they would do
the Saturday afternoon game and get themselves, if they're not playing finals, whatever they're doing.
This is big.
Get to the Osbourne and we'll watch it live.
Get to the Osbourne. That's a great call. We'll see if they're playing, but we'll call them shortly. But North Footscray, if anyone wants a little recap, it's probably been the highlight of the year. Mitch Georgiades just let him down, but he had 1,000 shots and the boys sent some great content in. It was unbelievable scenes.
Spoken to him.
Yeah. So this is big, and that's what the graveyard's all about. Just a quick shout out to the Riddles Creek and the Jets, of course, next door again.
The big puppies.
The big puppies, St. Bernard's Footy Club. Yeah. They were just next door. So congratulations, North Footscray. This has worked out perfectly. Great spin, Wal. And a huge shout out to PointsBet. This has been a fun year. Let's hope we can get one home.
We do.
How's your mate? I've been copying it from my mate. So you guys are the worst tipsters. They don't understand the rules. $2 is harder than you think in these games. Obviously, we can all find $1.50, but it's just one leg.
Leaderboard?
Leaderboard,
yes,
I think
Daisy
me and you
on 12 and you 2 on 11.
I think we're all tied.
Daisy on 12,
We'll just pump each other up all time.
Okay, that's better. All on 12.
All right, round the show out. It's been a bit longer, but look, next week will be short because only 2 games.
Get to the Osbourne or else.
What? And if you like piss, get there. All right, remind people. This is what it says. Remind people to get on the comments on YouTube because the best comments get read out. Here we go. Here's the best 3 from last week. Nathan Jackson, he said, "Hey boys, love the pod, but you're all off on on AA squad miss. Tristan Cherry absolutely should have made the squad. He was 1 for 1 against Gawn and smashed it week out. Look at the ratings. Well, he didn't make the side, did he?
No.
But he's probably a bit stiff.
He was stiff. He missed, 3 weeks?
Oh,
4
you missed
weeks?
a month there late.
Yeah, that's what cost him,
That's
I
what
think.
cost him because he was trending.
Gawny 8 time. What about this one? This is that Cody Cochran, 3092. Can somebody teach Train how to say Lockie Switkowski before finals,
Well, you
please?
just nailed it.
Well, his name's Sam, you fucking idiot. So I think I nailed it, but yeah, you get his first name right, Cody. Yes, Twitter. It's a tough one, that one. It's good by you, Cody. Keep writing them in, mate. We'll make sure we read them out. And Johnny Goring, another great show, boys. With many teams having exit interviews and Mad Mondays, just wondering if any of you boys had any memorable Mad Monday stories you can share or interesting exit interviews.
Not a whole lot of Mad Monday stories I can share. I always put a great deal of time and effort in. My best was probably when as Mario, it's me, and got a little scooter, painted it up, got dropped off at Bridge Road and drove it into the cricketer's arms, throwing little banana peels. Didn't realise that if I was over the limit, you can actually get in. Anyway, but the cops have gone, oh, shit. And they pulled over a car just next to me. So I actually had banana peels. I was launching them. To all the footy clubs that are out there on your Mad Mondays and your celebrations, be careful, look after each other, but also wear 2 different coloured T-shirts because if you get booted out or your mate does, you take one off and it wasn't you in the grey top.
That is
class.
experience. That is great.
That's been in the system for 13 plus years.
That's experience. That's an experienced campaigner, Wal.
Mad Monday, look, had a few. I think one stood out from the rest. We got a hypnotist in and he hypnotised half the blokes. And for 2 hours, it was some of the funniest content. Now, we put phones away, but being at the Liberty for a hypnotist can get quite dicey, quite funny.
Now, is this one of the ones where the guy has told players that they've lost their appendage and somebody else has taken it?
All that kind of stuff. Yep.
Have you seen this stuff, Train?
It's crazy.
So he'd be sitting there and he'd be like, well, Train's stolen your willy and he's got it in his pocket. And while he'd be sitting there going,
I can't believe that. I can't. That's why they're acting.
incredible.
So here's another one. Now, this is PG, but I remember Kobe Stevens, he got hypnotised at any time someone said the word pineapple, he went, "Caw-caw." Now, for 2 hours after the bloke left, and he gave, I think he gave Matty Boyd the trigger word to make it stop, but we'd just be having a beer and someone would go pineapple and he'd go, "Caw-caw." And he
So it kept working after he left.
No control over it. He had no control over it.
That's wild. That's where
dangerous.
it's a bit dangerous.
It is dangerous. Now, it was all within the 4 walls, but shit was funny.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild.
Yesteryear.
We weren't really allowed to dress up much, but I just remember getting delisted while I was in Melbourne. And Peter Bell, who just got the role like a week earlier, he owned all the big nightclubs and bars in Perth. Yeah, so when I got delisted, he goes, "Have you got anything for me?" And I said, "No, I just want to speak to Bally," because there was a few people on the call. I said, "Mate, is there any opportunities behind the bar? I know a bloke is looking for a job," and I don't think he knew what to do. So I just remember saying that to him. I think he was a bit rattled, but what a job that is, getting a new role and having to delist all the blokes you don't even know for the first week.
When I got told that I was being wound up / retiring, I was at Natasha's Nonna's funeral.
Oh.
And there was a list management meeting and it got to 2:30 and Stephen Silvani was going to text me or call me and let me know how it went. Well, I ended up texting him and I said, "Hey, mate, we're wrapped up here. How'd it go?" And he goes, "What's your address?" And I wrote back, "Oh, that fucking well, eh?" Randy, come on, bang, bang, bang. Daisy went, "See you later."
Oh, at least they did it in person, not on the phone. Oh, just getting word here, boys, that North Footscray's 1s and 2s are in the granny, I think this week and next week, or maybe all next week. So we'll give them a call.
So they
but
might have a week off.
They might have a week off, so they might be able to get to the pub. Not ideal,
Perfect preparation.
It's actually perfect preparation. You've all had a beer before and then dominated the next week. That is big. So it's all starting to turn around for North Footscray. To everyone, thank you for your support. Yes. We say it again. Get to the Osbourne this Saturday. We want to see your faces. A lot of effort's gone into this. We're doing something really big. We did it in Gather Round and it was enormous, but now we're in Melbourne, the home of football. There's no footy on Saturday, but there will be on the big screen, so come check it out. The live show will start at 2, but we'll be having beers with everyone at 1, so make sure you float in. We can't wait to see you. It's going to be an exciting week 1 of finals. Let's hope we can bring this Profit Propeller home. Wouldn't that just go off at the pub? We'll be able to film all that. That's all I've got. See you next week.
Big game, Savo. What do we like?
Me? I like something a little hot.
hot. Aren't you cold in there?
Not with the fiery flavor of PointsBet. It's like hot sauce, but for sport. Kick's different. Makes the game extra spicy.
Shotgun count.
Now that's coming in hot.
Fire up your AFL finals with PointsBet. Yeah, that's built different. Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.